had the Pope.
That's right.
We did not know we were going to get
Nope.
a new Pope yesterday.
Nope.
And we did not know that Pope was going to come right moments before
Yep.
we went on that afternoon. But we got you that coverage from Vatican City, Vatican Media providing awesome coverage of Pope Leo XIV. Speaking of the Vatican, let's take a live look. This is St. Peter's Basilica there, Vatican City. To describe the scene yesterday, and I read a report, 150,000 people were there.
Wow.
To
It
witness
looked like
a lot of
seas of people.
A lot
just
of people.
Waves and waves of people.
A lot of people. I learned so much in the past few weeks about the Pope. You know, I'm not Catholic. I think we all know who the Pope is, the significance of his position, but you know, you learn a lot.
The process, everything that goes behind it and everything. You and I certainly didn't, so we learned a lot.
It was us learning in real time a lot of times, but it was you know, you don't get a new Pope.
Nope.
Often, obviously. So we did get a new Pope, newly elected Pope Leo XIV. Today he led his first Mass as pontiff in the Sistine Chapel, where cardinal electors voted for him yesterday. His public installation Mass will take place May 18th, so next weekend. And so look, he's the first American-born Pope. And Chicago, Villanova University. That was a pretty cool reaction. We'll play that a little later, the reaction from Villanova's president. He was on Today's Show. We'll get to that. But a lot of great reaction. Again, first Pope born in the United States, also a citizen of Peru, where he spent a lot of time ministering. So I had the pleasure of speaking with Jorge Chorsi Milian, visiting professor at UNC Charlotte. We not only talked about Pope Leo and got his reaction to the news, we talked about the significance of his name, which I learned a lot about. And we talked about Pope Francis. He has a really great story about an encounter with Pope Francis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really cool story. So let's take you there to that interview now. We just kind of talked about it. Yesterday, nobody can predict when we're going to find out who the new Pope is going to be. But when you found out the news, what was your reaction?
Several reactions, okay? My first reaction was, this is an American Pope. But then I know the guy, but very slightly. So I said, wow, you know, the Catholic Church, the Vatican, they always play a different game, okay, a big game. So what are they trying to say with the new Pope? And he's an American, but he did the other way around. Instead of going from Latin America to the United States, he put everything upside down. So he's an immigrant from the United States that went to Latin America. And when I heard his first speech, he chose to speak in Spanish. Not even Francis started as a Pope speaking in Spanish. So I said, wow, what's going on now? What's the future with an American or Peruvian Pope? Is he more Peruvian, more Latin American than American? This is all the things that came to my head yesterday.
What's the significance of him being an American Pope, one, and then two, the name?
Well, that's very interesting. First of all, he's an American Pope. So he's a non-Italian Pope. You know that in the last 40 years, we didn't have an Italian Pope. But before that, we had popes. We have Italian Pope for almost 5 centuries. So that's a message there. So he's not an Italian Pope. He's from the Americas again. So I think there's something going on here. And I think the church is moving from being a European Catholic Church to be a more African, Asian, Latin American church. In that sense, I think that's why he's American. He had to be out of Europe. You know, Europe full of wonderful, spectacular churches and cathedrals, but they are empty. Nobody's there. You go there, you go to Rome, you go to Madrid, you go to all the old Catholic capitals, but you didn't find anyone. So I think that's one meaning. And the name Leo, well, there are several things about that. I think we need, you know, all the name. A pope doesn't choose a name for 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 simple reasons. So I think there are at least two. One of them is the last Pope, Leo XIII, who was the first to gather all the information about workers. And he wrote, Leo XIII, Rerum Novarum, which is in Latin something like the new things. And he wrote something like a very long speech on how to deal with workers facing the industrial era. In the times where you have communists, you have businessmen, you were in the United States in the middle of the Gilded Age, so it was more about businessmen than workers, and the church wrote something, and this guy, Leo XIII, about how to protect the workers without being a communist or a socialist. So I think in that sense, his name continues in a way the work of France. And of course, you also have the second reason of the name, I think, is Leo of Assisi. He's the best friend of Francis of Assisi was Leo. So it's probably, that's the idea of his name.
And it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, with the name, it's is a nod to the past, but also sort of I guess a look at what's happening now around the world. Is that a good way to look at it?
I think so. I think so. I think the Catholic Church from the time of Francis, they are facing a new world where we need to reorganize the battle or the agreement between entrepreneurs or businessmen and workers. And the church is always looking for that place to be the bridge between them. Some kind of how can we deal with this new thing? So it's about the old. The church, the Catholic Church, is always the old way to face the new way. So it's always trying to. They are very involved in geopolitics, even more than a modern country.
Francis, his legacy is being progressive, right? More progressive than the Catholic Church has normally been. How do you, and I guess this is more of a philosophical question, how do you carry on that legacy, but also establishing your own legacy as well? I mean, I guess that's the task, right?
Yeah, I think so. So he was a Jesuit. So these guys, the Jesuit, it is an agency inside. They have been working in the church since the 15th century, 15th, 16th century. And they knew how to work with power. So they knew Francis was in 5 years. He was trying to keep his legacy after his death. Okay, so this guy's the Jesuit. Uh, they know how to play. They play chess. Okay? So they know the next 2 or 3 movements, even though they were not going to be here. So he appointed most of the cardinals, the guys who were going to appoint the new pope. 80% of them were appointed by Francis. One of them is Leo. So he knew, at least he couldn't control who was going to be the new pope, but at least he had some kind of, I don't know, some kind of control on that. So that's how he did it.
You said chess. It is nothing but chess.
It's chess. It's chess.
Have you you're from Argentina? Pope Francis obviously is from Argentina. Did you ever get a chance to be around him, hear him speak, see him at all in person?
Yes. He was, to become cardinal, you need before to be a bishop. So he was the Archbishop of Buenos Aires. So I saw Leo was until yesterday the Bishop of Chiclayo in Peru. Okay, so I saw him on the street of Buenos Aires. It's a very popular place in Buenos Aires. It's Plaza de Mayo. It's like an open space, and he was a regular guy. Just a regular guy, and you can Jorge, that was his name before becoming Francis. Father Jorge, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. I'm doing so and so. He was the regular guy who was after being Francis. He was the same guy before. Okay, working on the streets of Buenos Aires, on the shanty towns of Buenos Aires. So you could go and talk to him on the street.
Wow.
And I saw him once there.
That's incredible.
It is.
My last question before I let you go. So many eyes, and so even folks who are not, I'm not Catholic, but we were all dialed in to who's going to be the next pope. What impact does this have on the world? I mean, we're dealing with a lot politically on different fronts, but what impact does this have on the world?
Well, I think a lot. For example, when Francis said, when somebody asked him, what do you think about, this was a question, what do you think about homosexuals and the church? And he said, I don't have anything against them. So what's the meaning of that? The meaning of that is that you go to a church in deep Africa or deep Latin America, and somebody who know in this community to be gay, he can enter the church and he can go to mass. So I think in a very local level, that's one of the things. Okay, so it changed the life, everyday's life of millions of people around the world. What a pope can say or cannot say. And if he is going to open the church for new people, he could change something that Pope Francis was changing, that I don't know if you know, but Latin America, for example, is turning Protestant in the last 50 years. So he could change that. He could, his voice, the voice of a pope, is very strong. outside the United States and outside Europe too. It's very strong in Latin America, in Africa, and in some portions of Asia. So he could change if he continued to have the open church that Pope Francis wanted to have. He can open the church to more people, and he has the same message of a peaceful message, a peaceful of agreement, a message of friendship about the world that could make a change in the world. At a time where I think the world is closing, if we have a pope who thinks about opening the world, that could make a change. I don't know if it's going to be a big change, but at least you will have somebody that could listen to your story if your story is not the mainstream story.
You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertivant. Again, that was the interview with visiting professor there from UNC Charlotte, Jorge Chorsi Milian. A really great interview. One of the things that he brought up was in the next few weeks, we'll know much more about Pope Leo XIV, and also the relationship with the White House, how he navigates that. So again, still a lot to come when it comes to Pope Leo XIV.